Jai Shri Ram, and welcome to yet another episode of Indosphere Insights channel. My name is Kedar Pawar, and I have recently launched this channel to share some views on the geopolitical events that are happening around that are shaping our world. Firstly, I would like to thank all those who have subscribed to my channel and even liked the videos which I had posted earlier. And for those who haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'll be posting such videos to simplify the geopolitical events and share insights. Well, friends, as we all know that US has finally attacked Iran and it has targeted the three nuclear facilities of Iran, namely the Fordo facility, the Natanz facility, and the Isfahan facility. Now, out of these three, Fordo facility was the most critical target. Why? Because this particular facility was located deep inside a bunker, which is estimated to be around 80 to 300 meters deep, and Israel didn't have the capability to strike this particular target, and that is where it had always asked US to step in to the war as early as possible. So now US had strike this particular facility, and for in doing that, it had used its B-2 Spirit bomber, which is a 2.1 billion uh, the price tag, and it has used the MOAB weapon, which is also known as GBU-57, uh, codename Mother of All Bombs, and it is estimated that they have used six of these bombs and completely destroyed the facility. And the US carrier battle groups, which are there in the Arabian Sea, they have also targeted the other two facilities, Natanz and Ashfahan, with Tomahawk cruise missiles. The range of these missiles is around 1500 kilometers. Well, folks, we all knew that US was going to get into this battle sooner or later, right? Now, why US? The question that comes to our mind is why US had waited so long and why it allowed Iran to enrich the uranium up to 60%, whereas for the use of generating electricity, the enrichment that is required is only around 3 to 5%. Well, this is the big game, folks, wherein US had always wanted this particular region to be in turmoil and always burning. And this is how US makes money, and this is how its military industrial complex makes money. Now, as you see, uh, US has always been sanctioning Iran, whereas on the other hand, it has been providing weapons to its allies, which is namely Qatar, Saudi Arabia, which are in the same region. So when the region itself is burning, that is where US can sell its weapons through its companies, and it can keep doing so like forever, because this is how they have been making money all this while. As I had mentioned in my previous videos, that this particular hotspot had to be reversed now. Uh, in the thumbnail, you must have seen an image which is also of the IMEC corridor, which is the Indian Middle East Economic Corridor. Now, this particular corridor starts from Mumbai, it goes to UAE's port, and from there through Saudi Arabia, it goes to Israel's Haifa port, and from Haifa port, then the trade will go up to Greece, and that's how all the trade, the material will be delivered into Europe. So this is the corridor that is getting, that is getting built currently, and that is the reason why the de-radicalization of this particular area or region is very much required. And for that, Israel has been doing this cleanup job for the rest of the countries that are involved in this particular corridor. And once the entire de-radicalization process is done, then the trade agreements are simultaneously going on as we see, right? So the big picture is that this is going to be the future, folks, wherein from India, a large amount of goods are going to get exported and traded through this particular corridor. Now let's understand why Iran hates Israel and US the most. For this, we need to go back in time. Now, as I had covered in my earlier video, that there was an Islamic revolution that happened in Iran in the year 1979. Prior to that Islamic revolution, Israel and Iran had very close ties. So much so that people of Iran and Israel, they used to celebrate together, party together in Iran. And Iran was a very, very liberal, very open society back then. But post the Islamic revolution in 1979 and Ayatollah Khomeini coming into power, the first thing that he did was he had declared US and Israel as his main enemies. He had in fact declared US as a big Satan and Israel as a little Satan. And he had almost declared a war against them. And the reason being that it had accused US that US had formed Israel back in 1948 to destabilize this particular region and in order to spread its influence. Well, this is a little background to the history, folks, which I have covered. Now, to explain to you what I just covered, that how US makes money. Another prime example of this particular thing is the war between Ukraine and Russia. As we all know that now the focus has completely shifted to Iran and Israel, and no one is even talking about the Ukraine and Russia war. But having said that, we need to look at certain events which happened during that war as well. Well, what happened during that war is US had funded heavily Ukraine and it had sanctioned Russia, as we all know, right? Just to give you an example, during Biden's administration, he had given around $350 billion to Ukraine to buy weapons and to wage a war against Russia. And the surprising fact is, Ukraine had bought these weapons from US companies, namely Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin. And why I'm sharing this with you is all these US companies are owned by BlackRock. Now, BlackRock, we all know, is an asset management firm and it manages assets close to $10 trillion. But there's another catch here, folks. All this money that was given to Ukraine was not just, it was given as a loan, basically. And against that loan, Ukraine had kept its farmlands, which are also known as the breadbasket of Europe and the world, that kept all its farmlands as the collaterals. And guess what? All these farmlands are also going to US companies like DuPont, Cargill, and these companies are also owned by BlackRock. Having said that, we all know that in Joe Biden's term, he has already signed a deal with BlackRock to rebuild Ukraine. And the other half, which has been captured by Russia, will definitely be kept by Russia. That is the deal that US deep state has signed with Russia. So this is the background, folks, and this is how US and its companies make a lot of money from war. I hope you got some good insights from this video, and in coming times I'll be sharing more such details. But always understand that any particular conflict that happens or a big conflict that happens involving superpowers, there is a different game that is going on in the background. So this is what I want to share today. We will be covering more such details in coming videos, and stay tuned and do like, share and subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get the notification once I upload a new video. So thank you very much for listening. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.